Most people think that AI replacing jobs is something that's yet to come, but it's already here and you don't see it yet because it doesn't happen the way people expect. There's no announcement, there's no press release. Instead, a company quietly eliminates junior positions and just doesn't hire for them again. A team of 10 then becomes a team of 6 who use AI to become more productive. And the job posting that used to appear every quarter just stops getting posted. You've probably heard of a company called Duolingo. They laid off 10% of their workforce thanks to AI helping them make their company more productive. And IBM's CEO has paused hiring for 7,800 roles that he says can probably be done with AI. And Klarna just eliminated 700 customer service roles using one AI system. And research from Goldman Sachs says that at least 2/3 of occupations could be automated. So that's 85 million jobs that could be displaced in the space of a year. And the kind of scary part is that from 2019 to 2025 today, AI capability doubled every 7 months. So this isn't coming sometime in the future. This is happening right now, behind the scenes, underneath our noses. And by the time that most people notice, it's going to be too late for them. But there's a small group of people who saw this coming, and instead, they've positioned themselves on the right side of history. And the gap between these two groups, that's going to create the biggest wealth gap in human history. So in the 1980s, the New York Times ran headline after headline about how automation and machines were going to eliminate jobs. Everyone predicted robots would replace factory workers, assembly lines would run themselves, and human labor would become worthless. So the prediction about automation was right, but what actually got automated, well, that was completely wrong. So fast forward to 2025, the factory workers, well, they're still employed. But walk into any corporate office and look who's missing. That junior financial analyst who spent 2 years learning Excel data modeling, well, that position's gone. The paralegal who mastered research databases. Some firms are just not hiring for that position anymore. And the entry-level content writer, companies are now realizing that AI writes a whole lot faster and, for the most part, better than a lot of humans. And now that position has become a commodity that people pay very little money for. So there's a story about this Chinese tech company called NetDragon Websoft. And interestingly, they replaced their CEO with AI. Now that sounds kind of crazy to me. Not just some junior level employee, but their actual CEO. And their reasoning? Well, they're saying that AI is making better data-driven decisions than their previous CEO. So I don't know whether they had just a bad CEO or whether AI can actually make really, really good decisions from a CEO's perspective with the data that it has. But meanwhile, the electrician, the plumber, the HVAC engineer, they're all still employed and getting paid and still in demand. So back in the 80s, everyone predicted that the wrong jobs would be automated, and it's happening again right now. So here's what's happening right now. It's not a full replacement, it's something more dangerous. So when Goldman Sachs says 2/3 of occupations could be partially automated, that word partially is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Because partial automation doesn't mean that everybody keeps their job and works less. It means that the company fires half their team and the remaining half use AI to do the work of the full team. The work still gets done. Revenue either stays the same or increases, but their profit margin is going to increase because of the reduced overhead from the team and potentially the office space that they've been renting for their company as well. And everything just takes fewer and fewer people. And if AI can automate, say, 45% of a company's activities today, what happens when the capabilities double in capacity in the next 7 months? What about 14 months? And again in 2 years? This accelerating is faster than we've ever seen with any type of industry ever in the history of human civilization. And honestly, most people have no idea what's coming. This has actually happened before, 3 times to be precise. In 1811, in England, a group of textile workers called the Luddites ended up smashing the textile machines they were working with hammers and tools, because those machines were taking away their own livelihoods. And within 20 years, most of these workers were unemployed. The skills that they spent their whole life mastering became worthless in just a short space of time. But someone did make a fortune during that transition. The factory owners, the people who bought the machinery and operated them. Here's the part that nobody mentions. The factory owner didn't know how the machines worked or how to operate them. They just understood that owning the means of production was more valuable than being the production. In the 1920s, assembly lines automated craftsmanship. Skilled workers who took pride in building entire products were now replaced with people just pulling levers. So who won in that situation? Well, it was Henry Ford and the people who owned the assembly lines. And the New York Times published an article called The New Allure of Manufacturing, calling it a revolution as engineers used computers to transform assembly lines. So who won that revolution? Well, in fact, it was actually Microsoft, Oracle, SAP, the people who owned the software, not the workers who got replaced. So in the 2020s, AI is now replacing the knowledge workers. And here's the crazy part, it's not the big AI companies that are making huge amounts of money right now. OpenAI is burning through $44 billion. Anthropic is losing money. And the truth is, most AI startups are gonna fail. But the people who are making the money right now are the ones who know how to build and use AI automations. They're the new factory owners, except the barrier to entry isn't hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment cost. It's in actually knowing how to build these automations and how to define the systems that you build the automations for. So you've probably heard of Midjourney. It's an AI image generation company. Now they've been around for a little while, but they generate over $200 million in revenue. And guess how many people they have on their team? 50 employees. So if you do the math, that's $4 million per employee. 20 years ago, a company generating hundreds of millions of dollars would need at least 1,000 staff. Design teams, HR, finance, project managers, account executives, the whole works. There's another example, Safe Superintelligence is an AI research company valued at $5 billion, and they have just 20 people on their team. Sam Altman even said himself, he expects to see the first one-person billion-dollar company in the next few years. One person with AI automations handling absolutely everything. This isn't some sort of science fiction movie. This stuff is actually happening right now. So last year I heard about a mid-sized marketing company. They fired 60 people from their content team, but they didn't just cut capacity. They replaced those 60 people with 4 people who knew how to build AI automations. Now those 4 people using AI produce more content than the original 90-person team. It's better quality, it's faster turnaround, and lower cost. And these 4 people aren't just making the same salaries as those 90 creatives on the team previously. They're making 3, 4, or even 5 times as much, because they're not just employees anymore. They're AI operators. And here's what that actually means. So if you're a marketing manager, you know how to build AI automations for content generation, for lead management, for data and dashboard creation. And you're worth 3 to 5 times more than somebody doing that role manually. So if you're a sales rep, you're building automations that reach out to leads immediately, that pre-qualify them, that book calls, that automate ongoing follow-up. And you're closing deals while your competitors are just still cold calling. And if you're an analyst, you build automation that pulls data, analyzes the data, and creates dashboards and animations and presentations that you can share with the rest of the team. And you're producing insights in a matter of minutes or hours instead of days and weeks. Companies aren't just paying more for these skills, they're actually desperate for them right now. Because here's the reality, businesses know that they need to use AI. They're reading the same headlines, they're seeing their competitors pull ahead. But most of them have no idea about how to implement it. So the person who can walk into a company and say, I can build automations that can replace these 5 roles in your business, well, that person doesn't get laid off. That person gets hired or promoted, gets paid 3 to 5 times more than everybody else, and they get to choose which opportunities that they take on. And if you want to go beyond being an employee, you can build AI automations for businesses as complete systems that companies will pay monthly for, $5, $10, $20, or even $50,000 per system. You could have multiple clients working just 20 hours a week. So I can see this creating 2 completely different economic classes. On one side, millions of people watching their jobs get automated. And now on the other side, you've got AI operators. They're the ones who learned how to build automations. And they're either getting paid 3 to 5 times more by their employee, or they're building complete AI automation systems for businesses solving expensive problems. And the gap between these two groups is growing every 7 months when AI capabilities double again. If you want the truth, well, this is the same pattern as 1811. The textile workers lost everything. Their skills became worthless. Meanwhile, the factory owners became the wealthiest people in England. So consider this, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes an awful lot. In 1811, if you were a textile worker, you just couldn't become a factory owner. The barrier was impossible to cross. You need capital and connections that you just never have access to. In 2025 and moving into 2026, the barrier to becoming an AI operator is completely different. You don't need capital. You need to know how to solve problems with AI and AI automation. Now there's tools like NA10 that let you build AI automations with no code. You just connect nodes. It's like building with Lego blocks. One automation qualifies leads in your database, another writes the personalized emails based on the prospect research, another sends follow-ups, and another one analyzes all of the data. And you connect all of these together and you've built a system that could replace an entire sales team. And if you're working inside of a company, you can build these automations for your own role. And you become 10 times more productive than your peers. You're the person that management can't afford to fire because you're doing the work of 2, 3, 4, 5 different people or an entire department. If you want to work independently and build your own business, you can build these AI automations for other companies, charging 3, 5, 10, 20K per project, plus a percentage retainer or a monthly fee. And both paths work, and both pay significantly more than traditional employment. Now, one of my students, Stephen, he learned to build AI automations. He joined my mentorship program and he was able to get his first client within 3 weeks. It was a TikTok agency. Another student, Tim, he was a media buyer and decided to pivot his entire agency towards AI automation because he could see what is happening in the industry and what was about to come. And he was able to fill up his pipeline with interested leads and close one deal with an 8-figure e-commerce brand. Now, these people are not technical prodigies. They're not PhD computer science whiz kids. They just learn how to build what businesses desperately need, but most employees don't know how to create. 1.7 million businesses in the US make anywhere from $500,000 to $10 million per year. Most of them know that they need to be using AI in their business, but almost none of them know how to implement it. Every one of these businesses needs AI operators, either as high-paid employees or as external partners building systems for them. So 2 years from now, one of 2 things will have happened. Path 1, your job got partially automated, meaning your company cut half of the team. You're now doing the work of 3 people, or you're in the half of the people who got cut, and you're now competing with millions of other people for positions that are disappearing as we speak. And the skills that you spent building don't set you apart anymore because AI can do most of it faster and cheaper. And path 2, you become the AI operator. You learn how to build AI automations. Or maybe you're an employee, but you're making 3 to 5 times more because you're able to do the work of an entire team. Or you're working with multiple businesses and you're getting paid 5 to 10K per month for each of the systems that you've built and installed into their business. Working 20 hours a week, choosing which kind of business that you want to work with. This is not just hype, this is the math that is already working. 85 million jobs will be displaced this year. That number isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. The pattern from 1811 is playing out again. The workers are losing everything and the owners are making fortunes. But unlike the textile workers, you have a choice that they didn't have. You can learn to become an AI operator. You can build the automations. You can be the person who companies can't afford to lose, or the person that businesses pay monthly to build and maintain their automation systems. You just have to decide which side you want to be on. So if you want to be on the winning side, that's exactly what we teach in the NA10 mentorship. 90 days from zero to becoming an AI operator. You learn how to build production-ready automations, how to become irreplaceable at your job, or land businesses as clients. No coding required, no technical background. is needed. So the link is in the description if you want to go check that out. I'm not going to sit here and pitch you for 5 minutes. You can check out the link. You're an adult, you can decide what you want to do with your time and your money. But just 1 year from now, you could be super grateful that you made the decision, or you could just be in the same place that you're at right now. All right, so anyhow, love to see you inside.